Draw and paint with brushes. Draw and paint with brushes. How to draw and paint with brushes? With Photoshop on the iPad, you can draw and paint with brushes, and whenever inspiration strikes, not sure where to begin. Start with selecting a brush type to create your composite. And how to choose a brush type? If you'd like to choose a brush type, how to choose a brush type? We have many steps here now. Step number 1. Tap this icon from the toolbar to select the brush tool. Step number 2. A small triangle in the lower right corner of the brush icon represents hidden tool options, and long press the brush icon to reveal the brush panel. Step number 3. In the brush panel that opens, you can scroll through a list of default brush types and tap to select the desired brush type and apply it to the canvas. Note and be careful here, please. The brush type used in your previous session remains selected when you use the brush tool again, and you can always come back to the brushes panel and change your brush anytime. Yes, thank you. Look at this screenshot now. We have brushes. We have many brush tool here now. Yes, brush. We have soft round and we have hard round and soft round. Yes, many types of brushes. If you would like to choose hard type, quickly adjust brush properties. You can adjust brush properties from the floating options panel to switch your creative work. To bring up the tool options, simply tap the brush icon from the toolbar, and from the tool options, tap an icon to select the attribute and modify, like color chip. The color chip allows you to choose a color from the color picker and enter a hex color code or enter numbers for HSP or RGB, lab or CMYK colors, and you can swap the color chip vertically to easily switch between the foreground and background colors. And what about brush size? Brush size is meaning the brush size options allows you to choose the diameter of your brush, and which can vary in size from 1 to 1000 pixels. And what about opacity? The opacity option sets the maximum transparency of the color you apply per brush stroke. 100% opacity represents obliquance as you paint over an area, and the opacity doesn't exceed the set level until you complete the stroke, and even when you paint over an area several times. And what about hardness? Hardness is meaning that the hardness setting controls the size of the brush's hard center and select a value that is a percentage of the brush diameter. What about more brush setting? Tap the three dots icon. To bring up the setting panel, like this screenshot now. Tool options corresponding to the brush tool in Photoshop on the iPad, and swap the color chip vertically to swap between the two colors in the tool options, by the way. And how to apply more brush setting? If you'd like to apply more brush setting, you have to choose and to press for the three dots icon. To access more brush setting, tap the three dots icon at the bottom of the tool options bar, and you can modify more brush setting as desired. Blend mode. How to blend mode? The blend mode, by the way, determines how the active layer blends with the layer's fluid, and tap the blend mode icon to see a list of available modes. And roundness. What about roundness? The roundness setting specifies the ratio between the brush short and long axis, and select a percentage value, and a value of 100% indicates a circular brush, and a value of 0% indicates a linear brush, and intermediate values indicate elliptical brushes. So what about the angle? The angle setting specifies the angle by which an elliptical or simple brush's long axis is routed from horizontal. Select a value in degrees. What about the flow? Flow is meaning flow sets the rate at which color is applied on your canvas as you move your finger or stylus over an area in your document. So what about smoothing? Smoothing is meaning smoothing produces smoother curves in brush strokes, and higher values apply increasing amounts of intelligent smoothing to your strokes. This option, by the way, is most effective when you are painting quickly with a stylus. However, it may produce a slight lag time in stroke rendering. What about the use brochure for size? What's meaning use brochure for size? Selecting use brochure for size varies the diameter of the brush based on the brush brochure applied while painting. What about the use brochure for opacity? Selecting use brochure for opacity varies the opacity of the brush based on the brush brochure applied while painting, by the way, for like this screenshot now. Look at this picture now. We have brush setting, blend mode, and roundness, and angle, and flow, and the smoothing. And if you would like to choose anyone from those, you have to press for the three dots icon. Will appear for you everything. Yeah, brush setting, blend mode, roundness, angle, flow, smoothing, and modify brush setting, and how to use touch shortcuts. Use touch shortcuts while using the brush tool. You can activate the primary touch shortcut to access the eraser version of your brush, and activate the secondary touch shortcut to switch to the eyedropper tools. And like this screenshot now, we have the left primary touch shortcuts, and the right is meaning secondary touch shortcuts.